Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired, be encouraged, be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yater.
Good evening, patriots, warriors, and freedom fighters. Welcome. Welcome to the battleground where we, the people, ignite a revolution, a movement to give power back to we, the people. This is the Take Your Power Back show with your host, Kim Yater. And tonight, we're unleashing round 6 of the epic California Governor Face Off. Come on, guys. This is it. We've done round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and round 5, and now round 6 with your governors, all of those vying to serve you and to take our California back. It's your rallying call to transform Sacramento and to dismantle the grip of oppression and to truly take our California back. Before we dive in, we're going to do take a moment. Take a moment to honor those that need to be honored in this time. The world, not just the United States, but the world has been impacted. Everything is shifting. Everything is transforming. This is the turning point. First, we're going to honor a lion who's shown us how to fight. Charlie Kirk, you know him well. Charlie is the spark that lit this blaze, the founder of Turning Point USA, rallying thousands of young patriots, exposing the woke machine with unapologetic truth. His stadiums, packing rallies, his fearless stand against cultural decay, Charlie's cry to take our identity in Christ back and take our country back is why we are here. Charlie taught us to fight smart, fight fierce, fight and love like Jesus. Today, Charlie, we the people honor you. We the people choose to fight like Charlie. Tonight, we salute you, Charlie Kirk, as the heartbeat of the movement. Patriots, freedom fighters, let's declare it now that the fight we choose to fight is the fight that Charlie fought. It was not a fight with just the weapons of this kinesthetic, this kinetic war. No, it was the weapons that come from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This is not a time to preach, but this is a time to awaken. We're going to fight like Charlie did. We're going to fight. That's exactly what we're going to do. We have a song in honor of Charlie to kick us off and remind us of how we get to fight like Charlie. You heard that, right? We get to choose how we're going to fight this fight. When you saw this fight, what's the fight that you're going to choose to fight? How are you going to stand in the gap? And which weapons are you going to fight with? This is a spiritual war that we are in. This is a song by a dear friend of mine. His name is Tom Kaz. Tom was one of our performers in the Take Our Border Back movement that reached hundreds of millions across the nation. Not just nation, internationally. That's the truth. This song is powerful. The day that Charlie died. Tom will be joining us at the upcoming Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown on November 8th. Before we go anywhere tonight, we're going to put honor where honor is due. Our good friend, our dear brother, Charlie Kirk, and a song by Tom Kaz. Let's play that song.
He was just a boy of 18 when he saw the call to lead. Built a fire in the heartland, planted one determined seed. He said, let's give a voice to freedom. Let's let the young ones speak. So he traveled coast to coast to make the strong stand with the weak. So we raise the flag of reason. We hold the line of truth. In the face of fear and darkness, his courage is the proof. On the day that Charlie died, 1,000,000 voices cried for the courage of a young man who refused to run and hide. He lit a torch of reason in the storm of endless nights. And though they took his life away, they'll never dim his light. halls of every campus, to the streets of every town. He stood up for the values that some tried to tear down. He believed in open voices. He believed in an honest fight. Now the truth he sparked will echo on, carried in the morning light. So we carry forth his banner. We'll keep his dream alive. In the spirit of his mission, his legacy will thrive. On the day that Charlie died, a million voices cried for the courage of a young man who refused to run and hide. He lit a torch of reason in the storm of endless nights. And though they took his life away, they'll never dim his light. We'll remember Charlie's courage as we raise his banner high. For the day that Charlie died became the day we learned to fly. On the day that Charlie died, a million voices cried for the courage of a young man who refused to run and hide. He lit a torch of reason in the storm of endless nights. And though they took his life away, they'll never dim his light. We'll carry on his mission. We'll speak the truth out loud. In the land he loved so dearly, we stand forever proud. Yeah, we'll carry on his mission and speak the truth out loud. In the land he loved so dearly, we stand forever proud.
The day that Charlie died, Tom Kaz, we get to fight like Charlie. And you're seeing the impact of the life he lived across the entire world. That, my brothers and sisters, is impact. And that's the impact that we get to make in this time. We get to make the most of every opportunity, for the days are evil. So let's make the most of every opportunity. Now, we've got a big night ahead of us. I've got texts coming in. We've got messages coming in. And everybody's like, where are the governors? Where are those that are running for governor? We're so excited to see them. We're going to turn our eyes now on the state of California. And we're going to ask ourselves a couple of questions. What is the true state of California in these unprecedented times? And to really answer that question, I think Tom MacDonald put it best. If y'all don't know who Tom MacDonald is, well, I got to tell you, you're going to get a great idea of who this warrior is. And I'm going to take a moment to share with you this amazing song. I think it's shaken up quite a few of us because it's resonated with each one of us. We're like, what? Are you kidding me? Is this really going on? Like, he just puts it in a way that we can't put it. So I'm going to give it to you by Mr. Tom MacDonald. Let's share that screen. And let's play that video.
The propaganda is on every channel. They think we stupid like the truth is just too hard to handle. Put on your camo, it's a culture war and load the ammo. They want Antifa ruling everything like it's Seattle. And they want anyone who's fighting to be dead and canceled. They want rainbows in the classrooms and 15 different bathrooms and white guys that hate black dudes. They want war, they don't want peace. They want fentanyl in our streets. They want borders to be weak. I swear the devil lives in California. He a politician. He passing bills that bring chaos and division. Yeah, the devil lives in California. Should be in prison. He got horns, but he tries to keep them hidden. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that. They say that. They love America. We know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it. We ain't switching. Y'all are tripping. I guess God just built us different. They get celebrities to do they talking. They get mansions while they cram us all into apartments. Tell us it's cool to stay in school and then make you retarded. If you ain't liberal, then they treat you like you human garbage. If you speak up, then you a target. They want their voice through an amplifier. Violence and our flag on fire. No voter ID required. They want war, they don't want peace. They want defund the police. They want you surrounded by screens. The devil lives in California. He a politician. He passing bills that bring chaos and division. Yeah, the devil lives in California. Should be in prison. He got horns, but he tries to keep them hidden. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that. They say that. They love America. We know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it. We ain't switching. Y'all are tripping. I guess God just built us different, dog. The devil is a Democrat. That's a fact, that's the truth. Look how bad that it gets when it's blue. The devil is a Democrat. That's a rap, it ain't news. And the way they treat America is proof. I swear the devil lives in California, $100 bills. He knows everyone in Hollywood and parties in the hills. Give you everything you ever wanted, plus a couple mil for your soul and your vote. It's a deal. Cause the devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that, they say that. They love America, we know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it, we ain't switching. Y'all are tripping, I guess God just built us different, dog. The devil is a Democrat. And we don't play that, they say that. They love America, we know it ain't that. The devil is a Democrat. And we ain't with it, we ain't switching. Y'all are tripping, I guess God just built us different, dog. The devil is a Democrat.
Tom McDonald, the devil is a Democrat. I'm sure that our candidates have a lot to say about that video. And we know that the devil runs on both sides, both Republican and Democrat. That is the truth. And the real question is, who is ready to step into the fight and stand for the truth? Guys, you are in for such a treat. We're going to get the party started. But before we do that, you need to know your system is failing. Our California system is failing. And I know you know. Gavin Newsom's antics have bled our Golden State dry. 180,000 souls. These are real human beings lost to homelessness hell. Crime spiking 12% in LA. Kids preyed upon by human traffickers. Bills like AB 495 stealing parental rights like a thief in the night. Gerrymandering maps, rig the elections, crumbling roads, mock our progress, energy bills crush families, farmers fighting to get water to their crops, and sanctuary state madness floods our borders with chaos. Enough is enough. We're not begging for change. We, the people, are igniting the change. We, the people, are rising, uniting, roaring to take our California back. And tonight, 3 Titans had planned to step into the arena. The first Titan, Steve Hilton, media mogul and Fox News powerhouse, wielding razor-sharp strategy to dismantle the elite machine. Next, David Kallenberg, farmer mogul, let's put that straight. Farmer mogul fighting for our food security and rural heartland. No more woke land grabs. And then we've got Jim Athens, real estate visionary, turning the tide on housing horrors, building a California where families thrive. These aren't politicians. At least we don't need politicians. We need warriors committed to slashing homelessness, crushing crime, shielding kids, axing bills like AB 495, securing the borders. Thank you, Tom Holman. Ending energy extortion, ensuring abundant water for California's future generations. And these warriors that you will tonight begin to choose and go, that's the one that's for me. They are vying for your choice. They're vying to represent you, we, the people, and taking our California back. So let's do it. Let's dive deep with each of these candidates in their own segment, asking the brutal question, their bold visions, no punches pulled. This is raw. It's real. It will be electrifying tonight. The spark for total reclamation of our golden state. Flood the chat right now. Share this show. Rally your freedom fighters. Tag everybody. Hashtag take your power back. Hashtag take our California back. We're live across various platforms and united and unstoppable. As 2 Chronicles 7:14 has been leading the way in this initiative to take our California back, I will remind you, this is the voice of God where he thunders, if my people will humble themselves, pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins, and heal their land. California, we're ready for some healing. We're taking our power back and we are awakening now, right now. Let's kick it off. The Take Your Power Back California Governor Face-Off Round 6. Let's go. So, tonight's first segment was scheduled with Steve Hilton. Yes, I said that correctly. Was scheduled with Steve Hilton. Some of you may be asking, well, I don't understand. You've already interviewed him on your show at an earlier face-off. Well, the truth is, his Wi-Fi was horrible. The interview was lacking because of the technical breakdown, and we wanted to give Steve another opportunity to be heard on the Take Your Power Back Show platform before the November 8th California Governor Showdown in San Marcos, California. Unfortunately, we got the call last night. Steve had a family emergency that required him to completely clear out his day today. In honor of Steve, because he will not be joining us tonight, we're going to do a short little video that says, hey, Steve, we're thinking about you. We know you're in the race. And these guys that are here tonight, these warriors in the room, they were looking forward to meeting you. So let's actually play that video. And what we're going to do is we're going to do just his campaign highlight video. I think that's a great way to go, just to remind us that Steve Hilton is also in the fight to take California back.
It all started with freedom. My parents fled communism in Hungary. So I was born in England, a free country, but a country in rapid decline. My earliest political memory was Mrs. Thatcher, the first British leader in a generation with the courage to fight back for freedom. Our family didn't have money. My mom worked in a shoe store, my dad in construction. But like so many working class people, they just wanted a better life. My parents were so proud when I made it to Oxford University, and then when I got a job with the Conservative Party, working for Margaret Thatcher. She unleashed the spirit of enterprise in England. She inspired me. I started a business, even a couple of restaurants. That is a tough business. Later, I helped elect a prime minister, worked in 10 Downing Street. In 2012, we moved to America, to California, the ultimate expression of America, the home of freedom. Or it should be. I taught at Stanford University, started a company. wrote books, hosted a TV show. I lived the California dream. I raised my family here, made my life here, became an American. It was one of the proudest days of my life, but also a reminder of the madness, the masks, the lockdowns, the school closures. Look at these pictures, the chaos, the crime, the collapse of the California dream. This is not just any other state. California means to America what America means to the world. Let's make California the land of opportunity again. Great jobs, great homes, great kids. Let's make California an inspiration again. The very best of America. There's only one way to do that. We've got to end the one-party rule that got us into this mess. It's time to end the years of Democrat failure. It's time for a new future. That's why I'm running for governor. To make this beautiful state that we love so much truly golden again.
Steve Hilton, you are in our prayers. You're in our prayers, Steve. So, guys, I think we are ready to bring in our contenders. Are we not? And before we bring them in, I want to remind you, tickets are sitting there waiting for you and they are running out. We are so surprised by the response. Actually, we're really not that surprised because we know we're in the fight for the upcoming Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. This is November 8th at Awaken Church in San Marcos, California. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. That's takeourcaliforniaback.com. This isn't just a show, it's a call to arms. I want you to picture this for a second. All of your favorite conservative contenders united on one stage, committed to taking our California back. I want to give you guys a little picture. That way you get to see what we're actually looking at here. All right, guys, without further ado, it's time because I see David Kallenberg in the background. I see him ready to stand in the gap. Let's introduce our first candidate tonight for the governor of California, David Kallenberg, farmer, mogul, fighting for our food security and rural heartland. No more woke land grabs. David is stepping up to defend our rural soul. Before we bring David into the room, I want you guys to see him at work. You mean you really get to see him at work? Yeah. I am absolutely blown away that we have a farmer that is vying to run for governor of the great state of California. I want you to meet him. He's a warrior and he is ready to take on the fight. Let me see if I can find him because I'm looking, and I know it was on TikTok. I got it here. I got it. I see him. It is David. David Kallenberg. Here we go. Come on, David.
So yesterday I posted a video about our state water board curtailing our water on our farms up here in Northern California. Some concerned citizens decided to question the accuracy of the state water board's measuring device. Come to find out, it was off and they had no right to curtail our water. So they issued a reinstatement because of the concerned citizens finding out that they were wrong on how much water was at the measuring device. So imagine that, unelected officials measuring our water, it not accurate, they're curtailing us, and then they're reversing the curtailment like, oh, sorry, like it's time, it's so time, it's such bullshit. They technically, I mean, luckily it was only one day. I mean, they pretty much could have just ruined everybody's livelihood. It's such bullshit. And it's time something is done.
David Kallenberg calls out the bullshit. That's exactly what he does. David Kallenberg, welcome to the Take Your Power Back show. An honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
Now, I'm hoping that we've got some good Wi-Fi on your end,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I am just going to pray right now that everything eases its way out so that we can stay connected. We've got some rapid fire questions for you today. And you know
Okay.
what? I want you to go as deep as you need to go, but I want you to know that we will likely hit every area. I want people to get to know who this David Kallenberg is, who this farmer mogul is. And I got to say, you got a beef store. You got a lot of good stuff going for you. It's kind of exciting. I've been checking you out in the back end, but I want you to tell me, I mean, you are the farmer mogul fighting for our heartland, right? So
Absolutely.
David, what was the distinct moment where you said, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I am going to run for the governor of the Golden State of California?
Yeah, so back in November, my family we go to Anaheim every year for Thanksgiving. And so back last November, we were going to go to Anaheim for Thanksgiving. And on my way there, I wasn't driving, so I was on my phone, and I was actually watching Charlie Kirk's live stream that he did every day. And I think they were talking about California and some stuff, and so I ended up subscribing. Like, out of all the things that I subscribe to, he's the only one I've ever paid for. Um, and so that day I subscribed to him and I watched his videos all the way to LA. And when I got to LA, I took my kids to Hollywood, and I'd been there like 20 years prior. And I was like, I want to take my kids to Hollywood, check it out, because back then it was like the thing to do. It was a cool place to be. It's kind of like going to Vegas. Took my
Mhm.
kids there, and I just couldn't believe how bad the place was. It was just mind blowing. And I'm like, I'm not bringing my kids here again. So I went back to my family's residence and started watching videos and started looking up the state budget and looked at who was running for governor. And I was like, if these people can run for governor, I can run for governor. So that's kind of where it came about. It was
I
about a
love it.
1 day thing, a 1 day trip down to there that really just was like, somebody's got to step in.
I love it. I love it. So I love it that you saw a need and you're like, you know what? I'm going to meet that need. I'm going to stand in the gap. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, tell us what equips you as a farmer mogul, your experience, what equips you to take on the role of governor for the state of California with, let's just say you're taking on a country. It's kind of like taking on a country. What
Yeah,
equips you
for
for that?
sure. Well, two things: common sense and the ability to say no, that none of
Mm.
these people have the ability to do. I mean, those two things right there sets me miles apart from what's out there.
And common sense and the ability to say no. So, what is it about what you do every day? Tell us a little bit more about what your life looks like and how you are equipped to say no and to have that common sense.
Yes, I mean, I own a 1,000 acre farm that I manage by myself. I do all the work, so I'm up every day at 6 a.m. and I'm out in the fields until 11 o'clock at night, working every day. I have to manage my farm's budget. I have to pay all the bills. I have to buy fuel. I have to do everything, and so I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it takes to manage budgets. I know what it takes to, do all that stuff. So I got a lot of experience. I've been doing it a long time, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
I got it. I got it. Now, food security is your fight. How do you stop foreign land grabs and ensure California feeds itself?
Well, I think that the government's working now to kind of try to stop some of that, especially with the new administration, but obviously Gavin's bought and paid for. So until somebody gets in there and can stop that stuff, they're going to keep doing it. I think that, I don't know how true it is, but there's a lot of, like, the Palisades situation, and it seems like a lot of foreign people are coming there and trying to buy those lots to build low income housing to take advantage of that government money, so it's not on my watch, especially when it comes to farms.
Well, what will you do to ensure that does not happen?
I mean, I'll fight every day of my life for that. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm not, a government official. I'm not a politician. I don't know how they weasel their way in, but I'm going to find out how, and I'm going to put an end to it. So whatever it takes, and whoever I
Got it.
need to get to back me.
Got it. Now, a lot of the candidates have been partnering together, having conversations, looking on how they can work together. They've played with the thoughts of, hey, what if I'm the governor and you're my, assistant AG or whatever the position is? They're kind of throwing that out there and, testing the waters. Have you been having conversations with other gubernatorial candidates or those that are in positions that would be equipped to have common sense values and make common sense choices? Have you been in communication and been kind of creating a plan of action?
Yes, absolutely. So last weekend I went to a Steve Hilton event and met up with him, and we discussed a lot of stuff and a lot of the issues about the curtailing of the water and the man-made drought and the emergency regulations that Gavin Newsom has in effect. And then I also met him at another one of his events on Sunday. And we went and shot some videos up by the Klamath River where they removed the dams and talked some more there. And what I'm seeing is on the Republican side, we are all collaborating together to figure out who's best for this and who can make this happen. And we're putting all our ideas together to make this happen and make it a reality instead of, pointing fingers and arguing and saying that guy's bad news. We're not trying to do none of that. We're trying to make this happen. We're trying to work together, be a team.
I love that. David, this is the first time I've seen anything like that, in my lifetime. My personal experience up and close of seeing the collaboration and the conversations being had to truly take our California back and give the power back to we the people where it belongs. So that is really great to hear. Now let's talk a bit about border security and sanctuary state. Would you end sanctuary policies and deploy the National Guard to secure our border when you are the governor of California?
I would definitely get rid of sanctuary cities for sure. That's a bogus that should never have happened. And whatever we need to do to secure a border, we need to do it. So whatever power we have to make that happen will happen.
I got that. And I am so curious. One of the things that always goes through my mind is, here you're a farmer, you're in the breadbasket of California, you feed us and so many others, right? And I've heard stories right now that there are illegal immigrants that have left the properties. They're in hiding right now. And there's tons of fruits and vegetables and all of these things going unpicked. And they're just sitting there rotting. Is that some of the things that you're experiencing in your neck of the woods?
No, we don't have any issues like that in any way, shape, or form. A lot of our stuff is mechanical, it's all equipment. So we don't have people out in the fields like picking fruits and stuff. And, in my garden that I provide to people locally, I pick myself. So, I think it's more of a Central Valley thing where that's going on. I don't know how accurately true it is. You hear some stories of this and that, but I don't know if it's really made that big of an effect on everything. I mean, I drove down I-5 in about a month ago, and you can just look off the highway and see 50, 100 people out there working in the fields. So there's still people out there working, and they're still out there doing it. So,
Okay.
you know,
It's good to know. I mean, oftentimes we just weren't bombarded with propaganda. And I'm sure there are some fields that where that is occurring. I have spoken with reporters that have reported on that. I don't think it's everywhere, but thank you for sharing that. Let's traverse for a second. Let's talk education. Wow, California has been hit, man. It is bill after bill after bill of taking our rights and powers away. So how do you restore local control in schools and protect kids and parents from AB 495's overreach and other bills that are being passed while we are being distracted.
Yeah, so stuff like that, like AB 495, I mean, first day in office, if they can repeal it or whatever we need to do, we need to make it happen. So that's definitely gonna happen for sure. I think any Republican person on the ticket's gonna do that, not just me. So anybody who could get in there is gonna do that. So that would be definitely, I mean, I have some ideas for it. You want me to tell you what I got, my plans
Well,
are with
yeah.
stuff?
So,
Yeah.
so David, this is your opportunity to bring the meat. We don't want
Yeah.
just a
So
vegetables,
you
a
know,
roll. We want bring the meat because this is your time to show up. What are you going to do to take our
yeah, so,
California?
one, we need transparency in classrooms. We need to require schools to publicly post curriculum, the budgets and library material, mandate parental notification for changes in student gender identity or pronouns. We need Parents' Bill of Rights. Support legislation to, uh, for Federal Bill of Rights, which guarantees access to curriculum and school budgets. 2 parent-teacher conferences per year, notification of school violence or disciplinary actions, protect against schools sharing student data with tech companies, local control over school boards, empower parents to run for school boards and seats, influence policy. Um, Opposite state level mandates that override local decisions and curriculum and discipline. We need to protect our kids from political indoctrination, ban critical race theory, political charged content in K through 12 classrooms, ensure age appropriate instructions and parental opt out for sex education, school choice and accountability, expand charter schools and voucher programs, tie funding to performance, not bureaucracy.
If you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I like this. I like the fact that we've got a real plan behind the scenes. That's what it's going to take, because if somebody steps into this role and they do not have a plan and they do not have the ability to collaborate, work together to put people in the positions where they're going to flourish, then there's no way we're going to take our California back. So I like the fact that
No,
you've
for
got a
sure.
plan.
It's if I was in office and there was a situation with the school and we need to have a meeting about the schooling, I want to meet with parents, not politicians about it, because politicians don't do our kids any good. So it's the parents.
Come on, it is
So
the parents. Now, let's talk about gender for a second, because you mentioned that when we were talking about education. So let's go to our core beliefs. Core beliefs for so many Californians that are conservative, that are Republican, and even on the other sides, there are Democrats that have values that are similar to Republican values. Now, we've got those that are far on the left that certainly do not share our values. So I am curious, are you somewhere in the middle, or are you solid on your stand? So let's talk pro-life. So is pro-life important to you? Let's talk gender. What is gender? Male, female? What do we do with gender? And what is marriage to you? What's your stand on pro-life, gender, and marriage?
there's some very good questions here. So I think it's hard because I'm very pro-life, but at the same time, I don't think I have the right to tell somebody what to do with their body, even if I disagree with what they're doing. I think it's their choice. Because a lot of people are against abortions. I get it. I don't think it's a great idea. I think there could be alternative options, but it's just like vaccines. So I don't think you can tell somebody you can't get abortions and then tell somebody, about vaccines, because there's a lot of people on our side that aren't for vaccines, including my other half. So, I just don't think that I should be the one telling anyone to do with their body, regardless if I don't like it or not. So that's where I'm at with that. You know, if I believe it's male and female. That's all there is. If you want to pretend to be something else, that's your choice. I'm not gonna stop you from doing it, but don't come try to force me to, you know, do what you want and to do anything. And there ain't gonna be no males in our females' bathrooms or vice versa. It's just not gonna happen on my watch.
Got that. And where do you stand on marriage?
Um, well, um, I mean, to me, I mean, I know that, uh, in the faith, people in the faith community, it's very important to them. But uh, as for me, it's honestly these days, it's just a signed piece of paper. It isn't what it used to be back when our great grandparents were married, or even our grandparents were married. Like it's just so different now. And in today's society, people get married 10 times. Like when my grandparents were married, that was it. They married who they were being with the rest of their life. So it's hard because if it was that way, I would advocate for it all the time, like it should be that way, but it's not. And so today's it's just a piece of paper anymore, and it's sad.
I
So
got it. I got it. And what role, David, what role does your faith play in your everyday life and in you taking on this position as the governor of California?
well, I am an ordained minister. I've been that way for about 24 years. I
Mhm.
went to Catholic school as a kid. My family was very Christian. I don't think they're too far off, but you know, uh, in my great grandpa, he went to church every Sunday. My aunt they had their own church. I went to Sunday school every Sunday. They were Christian. They still are. Um, in my personal life today, I'm unfortunately just too busy to do stuff like that. I mean, I 100% believe in God. Read the lots of verses in the Bible. Um, you know, um, but I am just a hardworking farmer. So,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
yeah.
So let's just pause there for a second. When I think back, when I hear you say, "I'm just a hardworking farmer," I grew up in a home where I learned at a very young age what it was to work, whether it was picking up a big old sponge to wash a car in a truck at 3 or 4 years old, helping my mom and dad, um, mowing the lawn, picking the weeds, and we had a lot of weeds to pick, to having a newspaper route of 140 houses at 10 years old. So work ethic goes a long way. What is it about your work ethic as a farmer that is going to drive you to truly shift California and activate all those you work with?
Yeah, so, I work nonstop, 7 days a week. I don't think in my life there's not, here comes the weekend, I get to take the weekend off. I don't think like that. I think when I open my eyes, it's work. When I close my eyes, it's work. So that's all it is. And so, you put me in a situation, if I'm trying to achieve something, the work I'm going to put into that is going to be tenfold of anyone else. It's going to be from when I open my eyes until I close them every day of the week, 7 days a week. I don't just stop. I don't go on vacation. I don't, take a break. You're not going to find me spending a bunch of money off on some lavish vacation. I don't fly nowhere. I don't do anything. I work. So if I was governor of California, that's all I'd be doing is working. I'm not going to be playing. So, especially on tax dollar money.
Speaking of tax dollars, well, let's land right there. What are you going to do about our taxes?
So, it's something I've tried to look into a lot, and, they have it so rigged. It's really, until somebody's in that power position to really be able to understand and know what to do to undo it all is going to be difficult because so many people rely on what they've created. And I mean, you just go in and want to cut it all day one, like it's going to be really hard to do that. I think that the first step is figuring out the waste and abuse and trying to, find out where the money's at and where it went and stop that stuff. And hopefully, that can create some tax relief by not needing that money, for bogus things that they're doing, high speed rail and who knows what else.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Time for Doge,
yeah,
California
absolutely.
Doge, and we know there are people. that are already doing the work behind the scenes. So it's a matter of gathering the experts together so that we can
Yeah.
really see the numbers. All right,
Yeah.
let's come up with a solution. Let's talk about water. Water is imperative. And salute, I've got my water with a little bit of sustained sport in it. Game changer. Love my water. We can't live without water. We need water. And we need water in this great state of California. So let's talk, David.
Sure.
California's water crisis is struggling. Our heartland drive winters have slashed state water project allocations to just 35% as of February 2025. They say with La Nina looming for more drought whiplash and reservoirs straining under record heat as farmer mogul, David, what's your no BS plan to secure abundant water for the generations to come?
Well, first we got to get rid of all the unelected officials that are raining down on everybody and trying to control it when they have no clue what they're doing. Um, so that's going to be the first step. There could be a lot of water in the state for farmers and for everyone if it was managed properly and not just controlled by somebody in an office, that has no clue what's really going on. So I think that's the big thing is getting in and changing the State Water Control Board and getting rid of all their unelected officials that have no clue what they're doing other than trying to make it hard on everybody and hard on the farmers. And then we need to, invest in the infrastructure that we've already had the money for, and doing that and store our water and secure our water and quit chasing false claims of these fish and those fish. If they truly wanted to help those fish, they would try to figure it out and not just blame it on the farmer or whatever they're trying to do. And so it's going to take a lot of common sense and a lot of people that know what's really going on. You hear a lot of things about the delta and why there's no fish in the delta. Well, a lot of the delta is filled in with silt, and so a lot of the delta is like 3-4 feet deep. Well,
Mm-hmm.
all the strip bass and all them just eat all the fish. So
Mm.
if they went in and dredged that like they used to back in the day, and it was 10-12 feet, salmon and fish like that, they could swim below where the strip bass and all that stuff that can only go 3 feet down, and they would survive. But environmentalists have shut all that dredging down other than for the ports areas, so there's a lot of things that they could do in that, and it would create more water, it would create more groundwater. Right now it's just flush into the ocean. And then you hear all these high density housing and stuff like that. Well, where's the water coming for that? They're going to take it from us, the farmers, to give it to those people. Well, there needs to be things. If you want high density housing somewhere and there's not enough water, then maybe you need to put in a desalination plant off the ocean for your project before you go and build these houses, and not say, well, we'll just take it from the farmer, blame the fish on the farmer, and then he don't have no water, so we'll just send it down here. Like, it's just a game, and it's just time that someone with common sense and that will say no to those people and get rid of them comes in and does it. So.
Yeah, here we are. Common sense. Now let's bring that common sense to the financial deficit. David, California's 12 billion. Oh my gosh, is that just nuts when just to even say it is sick. California's $12 billion deficit, black hole, just keeps growing from 2025-26, swelling to 20 to 30 billion yearly by 26-27 isn't just numbers. It's strangling rural farms with slashed water subsidies and regulatory chokeholds amid drought whiplash. As the farmer mogul who scaled ops through regulatory hell, what's your dirt under the nails plan to slash waste? Like auditing AG handouts gone wrong or ag handouts gone wrong, and revive the heartland's economy without hiking taxes or working families. And then last, what qualifies your boots on the ground grit to turn this fiscal flood into fertile ground?
Yeah, so what I always say is that you don't go buy fancy new things that you want if you don't have the money. And so the problem is like high speed rail. that's a want that they want. They shouldn't be buying it. If they had a surplus of money and they wanted to do that, that's one thing. But when you put us in debt for who knows what, that stuff's got to stop. There's so many pet projects that are pointless. It's just like where I live, they're redirecting the river. Like there's like about 200 feet of the river, and they're moving it about 100 feet over for no reason really, other than restoration for the river. That's one thing if it was you had a surplus of money and you wanted to do that, but to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to move the river 50 feet is a waste of money. So, and there's so many if you, I mean, everybody can look and see all the different projects and just call them out. And it's like, if you got rid of all those wanted projects versus needed projects,
Mm.
we would save a ton of money. And, obviously all the illegals taking up a lot of the money, everything that goes on. I mean, it's just crazy how much money they just waste. So I think by getting just rid of the waste alone is going to be huge on the deficit. So
It's probably going to take some compromise. So the question is, where do we really compromise? California's gridlock with a Democratic supermajority demands real talk or compromise. What principles are you willing to bend on to build coalitions and get results, like streamlining regulations or rural urban partnerships? And what red lines are you unwilling, like no go, no cross, no matter the cost, to protect our families, farms, and freedoms?
well, there's definitely got to be some red tape cut and a lot of it. Um, you know, it's I just know that we can't sacrifice anything for our veterans. We're not going to cut them in any way, shape, or form, and we can't do the same for our seniors and or our kids. Like those are the three main things that we cannot cut anything from. And all you hear a lot of it about Social Security, and you hear a lot of it about the veterans and all that stuff. And those are my three no-goes, that you're not cutting any of that. Um, People need to get back to work and quit living off the government. And that's one of my biggest things. Is there's so many people out there that are able to work that have just a free ride. They want a free phone, a free this, a free that. And that stuff needs to stop. People need to go back to work. We need to get people working again. And I think if we can try to get people more motivated to work, we might, make some ground in that area. So I think
Mhm.
that's important.
I love it. I love how you're not going to compromise the children. You're not going to compromise the elderly. Speaking of children, you have a baby on the way. Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, any day between now and
Um,
the 9th, I think. So, yeah,
Amazing. So you're on standby. You're like,
I
Kim,
am very on standby. A lot of people ask me, why aren't you down in Southern California? I'm like, man, this could happen in 5 minutes from now.
and how many children do you have, David?
This will make 6.
Oh my gosh, you have 6 children. That's
Yep.
amazing. I have 4. 6 is a lot of kids. Okay, so what are their ages, David?
19, 15, 8, or wait, I'm sorry, I missed one. So 12, 8, um, and then 1.5, and then the new coming. So 4 boys and
That's
2 girls.
amazing. So let me ask you, do these guys, do these kiddos, do you already have them tilling the soil and starting with a strong work ethic?
Yeah, so my daughter wasn't so much into the farming, she did help me out a little bit here and there. And, so when she was a teenager, she's out of high school now, she's 19, but, she helped a little bit. It wasn't her thing. But my 15-year-old son, he's very heavily invested. If he can be on a tractor, he'll be on a tractor. And he's my right-hand man when he's around to help. So, my 8-year-old, he's kind of wanting to drive a little bit. So I expect to see him on a tractor here shortly.
That is awesome. Come on. I know what that's like. My dad had a couple of bulldozers, a tractor. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's great and it's a lot of fun. Good to teach them at a very young age, that's for sure. All right, we've got a few more questions before we move on.
Sure.
Now, this one, when we're talking about the kids are so dear to our heart. Human trafficking is a pretty big deal. Teams of us got together at a Rev 17 conference and raised over $4 million to build a facility called Peace of Heaven, which was a transformed prison that was kind of a low security prison for women, and that's going to be a safe space for those that are being trafficked. When you look for the real numbers on the internet, you never get the real numbers of those trafficked. It is horrible what's happening, and we've got to stop the trafficking, especially on rural smuggling routes. Now, you might know something about that. So what's your plan to nip that in the bud to protect the children and stop the human trafficking?
Well, for one, we need to make criminals again. We need to, not let them get away with everything. You do a crime, you should do the time. And so the government nowadays is just so lax on everything. It don't matter what you do, you get out of jail 5 minutes later, nobody's going to quit doing crimes. And so, you're trafficking a kid, that should be high up there in how your punishment. And we need to invest in that. We need to try to do everything we can to protect kids in every form, shape. I don't care what it is, how it is. There should be no question. If it comes to protecting a kid, we need to do it.
I got it. So on your list of the most important, what are your top 3 that you're going to nip in the bud and as soon as you get into office?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm a farmer, so my close knit, thing of what I want, for me is obviously the state water board. That's going to be, any of these unelected officials, I don't care where they're at, CARB, California Air Resource Board, the state water board, and there's more, California Coastal Commission, all of them are going to get a huge reality check and get put in check, and people are going to get fired, because it's long overdue. We need to, the diesel truck bans in California is just, people wonder why their food costs are so high. It is so impossible to be a truck driver in California, and we have to fix that. I hear people saying, well, for day one, we're going to get rid of $2 a gallon of gas and all this. It'd be great, but it's reality. It may not happen that quick. It's just like, the current administration and the president's office said he was going to come in and do it one day. It's really hard to do that quick.
Mhm.
I think we can do a lot of things and maybe we can make it happen. But if you're promising it, I mean, I'm not going to believe anyone that's promising anything. So I would
Mm,
love to see the $2 a gallon gas cheaper. I mean,
mhm.
it hurts me every day of the week. So I will fight for that. What it's going to take, I don't know. We need to drill more oil in California. We need to reduce regulations. So, that's going to be on my top priority is to figure out the gas problem. It's where I live right now, there's a gas station. It's crazy. There's a gas station on the left side of the road. Diesel is $5.99 a gallon. There's a gas station on the right side of the road. Diesel's $4.99 a gallon. So it's $1 difference. That isn't
Mhm.
because taxes. They're the same gas stations, just one on one side, one on the other. So there's more going on than just taxes and the fuel prices. So we got to figure out where that issue is. And, if people are price gouging or taking advantage or whatever it is. So there's a lot to do. I think the other thing is we need day one, we need to be, if it hasn't happened before, we need to fund Prop 36. That needs to happen. It was supposed to happen and the governor should be doing it now. Because we got to get crime off the streets. It's hard for businesses to do business when they're just getting broken into and robbed and
Mhm.
that nobody's doing anything about,
Mhm.
what they're doing. So
Mhm.
that's got to happen. I noticed that he's kind of doing some stuff right now. I don't know if it's campaigning for president, but you
Mhm.
know, how much effort is he really gonna put into it,
Right.
So I will put
Mhm.
110% effort into it, to make that happen. Um, I mean, there's just so much more that needs to get done.
Yes.
We need to reduce red tape across the board, like big time. And, I mean, I think the administration and the federal government says they're, for every new regulation, they got to get rid of so many. Well, it needs to be like 10 times that in California. Because I think I heard somewhere there's like so many regulations, like over 400 something thousand regulations in California. Like, how could anyone like us even
Right.
fathom understanding that stuff? Like,
Hmm.
it's crazy. So, maybe it needs to be like 40 or 50 regulations for one new regulation, like something crazy,
Right.
because
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's
Mhm.
just that's a wonder why it's so stalled in this state. We got to get
Well,
rid of that stuff.
let me ask you this, David. So, have you ever run for any elected office in the past?
No, I have not. And, and I hadn't planned to. Like, I just wanted to be a farmer and farm with my kids and give them to something to inherit. But I'm so on the verge of losing everything because of the state. I mean, if the state keeps going the way it is, there's not going to be farmers left in California.
Wow.
It's going to be bad. Like it's just not going to happen. We can't survive like this. And somebody's got to get in there that has common sense, that knows what to do, and that can, see through the BS
Hmm.
because there's so much of it. And those people don't really, they're so focused on politics than really helping the people. I mean, I've been homeless. I know what it's like. I've been broke many of times recently. I know what it's like to struggle. Like, it's not easy. Those guys, they don't truly care about us. They don't truly care about the homeless. They're not really helping them people. So it's got to get people in there that actually have a heart that want to help. And so,
Mm, I
you
love it.
know, I don't want to be a politician ever. And
I
even
love
if
it.
I
I
was
hear your
there,
heart.
I'm still
Mhm.
going to be a farmer. I'm not going to be a politician. I don't want to be labeled a politician ever. So,
I
not
got
yet.
it. You are a farmer mogul. So, David, would you be open to the possibility of running for governor and at the same time putting your throwing the hat in for state water board?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open for anything. If there's any way I can help or make change in a positive way, I'm all for doing anything. So, I'm just trying to figure out where I fit in and who,
Love it.
and just making
Mhm.
sure who's best for the job.
I
So,
love it. So
and it,
would you
and
be willing to get behind, like if you saw there was another candidate that was fit for the job, would or like better fit for the job, if you felt that, you know what, I've waited out this person, I think he's going to be a better fit, and I'm going to be a better fit here. Would you be willing to collaborate and take on another role and, get behind another candidate?
that's been my whole thing. So that's what I'm planning to do. So, whether I'm in the front running or not, I want to be somewhere involved, and I will step right out of the way if I know there's somebody else that can win this, because we have to win this. There's
I
no
love
ifs,
it.
ands, or buts.
Yeah.
It's got to get done, and people need to vote no on Prop 50. Like, that has to
Hmm.
happen. That's going to set the tone for the election. So we need to make that happen. Everybody
Got it.
needs to vote no.
No, I've got that. David, do me a favor. Shut your camera off for a second and then turn it back on because you're frozen right now, and I want to make sure we can see you. You're in the
They're
frozen
working now?
abyss. Shut your camera off for a second. So go down to the bottom and just and now put it back on and let's see if that kind of clears it. Okay, because you're frozen. All right, so you're a little bit frozen. We're going to keep going. We've got just a couple more questions just to before we close it up tonight. They are important questions. I want to give you the opportunity. One is election integrity, David. So, David, you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, this is a pretty common sense question. How do you win in a system that many believe is rigged when we're talking election integrity? How do you win in a system where many believe the system is rigged?
Well, you just have to try. We're gonna have to try, and we have to get everybody out there. I will say this: Steve Hilton had a good talk the other day. If
Mhm.
everybody in California that voted for Donald Trump votes for the California governor, whoever's at the top of the list, they will win. And so we have to get all of those people willing to vote again for the people, for whoever's running in the top for the governor.
Okay, I got that. So
And we need
getting
voter
people
ID.
out to vote.
We need to get people out to vote. You know, I was at a thing a while back for my local community, and I love the elderly people that go to those things. But one thing that
Hmm.
was kind of concerning to me is my daughter was the only young generation there. We got to start getting more of those people to those type of events and involved. So
Yes.
we got to do that, and that needs
Yes.
to happen. We need everybody running for governor needs to do this to help make this happen for whoever is the top. Like, this
Mm,
isn't just a race for me, this is a race for everybody, and this is a race for
mhm.
California. So
Yeah.
it's time that
Yeah.
we all make it happen for whoever does make it to the top.
I love it. I love it. You know, David, I'm thinking of you as a farmer drawing in all of the younger people. And, my daughter did a work away in Mexico, somewhere in the heart of Mexico on a farm. And, she learned the language. It was a safe setting. And it was an incredible experience. These workaways tend to draw all of the young people. What if we could create something in the farming industry where we actually start bringing in all of the youth, right? Creating a space where they can learn what it is to work the land. And at the same time, they understand what their constitutional rights are. They understand that they have the ability to allow their voices to be heard by voting. I mean, that would be incredible. I mean, that just might be some seeds that you can sow that may really
Absolutely.
sprout. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Okay, final question. Unless there's something more you want to bring to the table, because there might be something I've overlooked. But here's my question right now. What is one bold move that you're going to make to make California great again? So, one bold move that you will make to make California great again.
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I know my one of my main plans is on day one is I want to start the largest road paving operation that this state has ever seen because our roads are in such bad shape. Like, when I get done, people are going to drive through California and they're going to know that something has been done in this state. And
Wow.
it's a visual thing, like you drive down the road now and you see all these signs that say tax dollars at work, but you don't really see any work. We're going to see some work. So this state's going to get to work.
We are going to work. Come on. Kallenberg 2026. David, I know people can reach you at Kallenberg hold on, let me pop over here. I want to make sure that I'm saying that right. It is Kallenberg, COLLENBERG 26.com. That's Kallenberg26.com. Now, David, are there any final words, your call to action for we, the people?
We just need to flip California red. We can do this. We just got to work together. We got to collaborate. We got to put all our ideas in one basket and figure out who's the best to lead. And let's all make it happen.
Come on, come on. Heartland strength. David Kallenberg, that is the backbone that we need. David, thank you so much for being with us today
Thank you for
on
having me.
round 6 of the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. We're going to be talking to you very soon. And as soon as she gives, if that baby, if she goes into birth, if she starts, you got to let me know. I'll be praying
Will
for you
do.
guys.
Absolutely.
God bless you, David Kallenberg.
Thank you.
Let's take our California back. All right, guys. Wow, that is David Kallenberg. And around the corner is Jim Athens. Now, I'm looking in the back room for Jim Athens. And if Jim Athens is hearing my voice, Jim Athens is getting ready to enter into the Take Your Power Back showroom in just a moment. But before we bring Jim into the room, we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors who make today's show possible. The fire is growing. The spark is growing. Today, we've already, been so inspired by Charlie Kirk. I mean, we've experienced the loss. We're still grieving that loss. And at the same time, it's igniting a fire in every single one of us, a fire to get in the fight and love and fight like Charlie. Now, before we bring in our next warrior who has made the decision to fight like Charlie, Jim Athens, we're going to take a moment to say thank you to two of our very special sponsors. We want to introduce you to those sponsors because it is because of these sponsors that the Take Your Power Back show is possible. So our first sponsor up today that we're going to take a moment to thank and tell you about, and I'm going to pull them up right now, is our Freedom Stakes Now. I said that right, Freedom Stakes Now. What do you mean Freedom Stakes Now? Freedom Stakes Now, baby. Give me my steak. Listen, we just talked to a farmer and a rancher. I love good beef, and I love me my beef that does not have hormones, does not have antibiotics, and there is no hint and no plan of mRNA. Never, ever. So get your Black Label, now 28-day aged beef from a USA farmer, not China, but a true patriot manufacturer, a patriot cattle company. So the cattle roam across the United States, and the manufacturing facility is in Kansas. And I'm telling you what, you guys, I get the beef delivered to my door. It is the best beef and the best ribeyes, the perfect marbling. So if you're looking for a New York lean, you can get your lean. If you're looking for ground beef, no hormones, no antibiotics, it was $5.99 the other day. And I don't know about you, but I'm stocking up on what's good. That way I have it in the freezer. I got to get myself a generator, though. I think that's important to have. So go and get your beef today. Go check it out. Check out the video. You can go to freedomstakesnow.com. That's freedomstakesnow.com/Kim. Go check it out. Click yes or write yes so that you can access your video to take a look at this cattle company that is all vertical integration. They know that baby calf from the moment it was with its mama, and that calf stays with the mama all of its life. And those guys have no junk in the trunk. Best beef ever. freedomstakesnow.com. That's freedomstakesnow.com. And thank you, Freedom Stakes Now. It's because of you guys that today's show is alive. Now, our next sponsor up that I'm going to say a big thank you to. And for those of you who pay close attention to my show, you've seen this sponsor before. It's our Patriots Made sponsor. What's Patriots Made? Well, here's the deal. We're in the midst of economic warfare. Where we're spending our money, we're voting. When we all gathered together and said no to Budweiser, we said no to Target, what happened? It moved the needle. People stopped buying. It hit the pockets. It impacted BlackRock and Vanguard. Guess what? We have the opportunity to take our power back from the Wally family, from Jeff Bezos, and put the money back into the farmers' hands, the cattle ranchers' hands, the mom and pops in ministries' hands, by making the switch to an American debt-free, privately held manufacturer. You know, USA Today named them America's best brand month after month after month. This company has awards up the yin yang. They've been around for 40 years, debt-free, privately held. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's been 20 years that I tapped in. Best decision I ever made. I've gone from buying time for disc replacement surgery, pretty bad for your L5 disc, right? To no surgery, 20 years, pain-free, Spartan races, sprint triathlons, because of the tools in the toolbox that shook up the entire nutritional community. My daughter's allergies are gone. She just graduated from college, broke the record of the fastest goal scored in the history of the school. 17 seconds. You got to love that number in soccer. Pretty awesome. Last but not least, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea. I struggled for 14 years and a week and a half gone. Tap in today. Go check it out. patriotsmade.com/Kim. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. Someone asked me the other day, does this manufacturer really make all of their products in USA? You bet your booty they do. In good old Idaho Falls and Tennessee. They're in 2 million homes and in 20 countries. This is the kind of store that you want to shop at. Take your power back today. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. All right, my freedom-loving patriots, this day is not done. We have got another freedom-loving warrior who is willing to stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to stand in the gap today. I'm going to stand in the gap tomorrow. I am going to stand in the gap. His name is Jim Athens. Now, Jim is backstage, but before I bring Jim in, it's important that you guys get to take a look at a video that Jim put together that gives you a little sense of who he is and how he can use his skills to take this great country back. So stand by, guys. I'm going to pull up that video. That way you get to see it for yourself. We've got with us in a moment, Mr. Athens. Here we go. Let's refresh that page. Come back with me. Come back with me. Come on. Come on. And here we go. Oh, I love me my Pastor Jurgen. Oh, where's my volume here? Hang on. Hang on. I am not seeing my volume, and this is important, and it was here before. So let's go one more time. Let me refresh this. Okay, and my volume should pop up. If not, we're going to go back one. Here we go, guys. Bear with me. And if I am not pulling this up right now, then what we're going to do, all right, here we go. So it's Kim Yater Live. You're at her website, and she's going to go down because this is thinking way too hard. There we go. There we go. There we go. We're going to go find Jim. Sometimes things work smoothly, guys, and sometimes they just don't work as smooth as we'd like them. This is thinking way too hard. There we go. There we go. There we go. Here we go. We're going to go find Jim. Sometimes things work smoothly, guys. This is awesome. I'm hearing myself. Oh my gosh, you're going to love it. Hold on. Hold on, Jim. Where are you? Where are you? We're scrolling down. I see Boone Cutler. We're going to honor. Oh, here we go, Jim.
I'm Athens, and I'm running for governor of the great state of California. One of the things I do, I'm a real estate agent, and I sell houses. I like to sell big houses. I'm selling this one behind me. I sold the biggest house on this peninsula. Hey guys, my name is Jim Athens, and I'm running for governor of the great state of California. One of the things I do, I'm a real estate agent, and I sell houses. I like to sell big houses. I'm selling this one behind me. I sold the biggest house on this peninsula. And I like to do big things, and I want to do big things for the state of California. And if you elect me governor, so help me God, that's what we'll do. All these problems, look at this view. I love it. That's the Port of Los Angeles. All of these problems, they're going to melt away with the strength of the sun that's coming up over the horizon. And to quote Ronald Reagan, to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, it's morning in California. I'm Jim Athens, and I'm running for governor of this great state of California.
Jim Athens.
Hey guys.
We got to hear him twice. You got to absolutely love it. All right, Jim, let's bring you in the room. You got to love. Hey, listen.
That's a tough act to follow. I don't know. That's my best. I might as well just quit right here.
Now, listen, here's the thing. Sometimes the best things come to when there's all these technical challenges. It tells me you have a message to bring today. So we're just so excited to have you. You have quite a background. So why don't you just first start us off telling us a little bit about who you are and what has driven you to take on the role of the governor of California?
Okay. Well, and it's good that I followed this gentleman because it allowed me to kind of sit here with my thoughts and kind of gel my message. You have to believe you're here for a reason. And I do. You have to believe that you're here to quote the book of Esther, you're here for such a time as this. And you have to believe that God's with you. You have to believe you've got something to bring. You have to, I like to bring enthusiasm. But in the first debate, when they let me introduce myself, I said, I'm a Christian minister. Everybody's a minister nowadays, right? But I'm going to see everything I do. I want everybody to know right up front, everything I do is going to be through that lens. I govern my own life through a Judeo-Christian
ethos, through a Judeo-Christian ethic. And everything I look at, every problem that I'm going to look at on behalf of the people of California is going to be through that lens. And so help me God. And that's what I'm all about. And you're asking David Cullenberg, was that his name, David Cullenberg?
Yes, very good.
I
Yes.
was very impressed with him.
Mhm.
But there were some differences of agreement, of agreement, of opinion, and one of which was abortion. Another was marriage. I'm not going to compromise on those areas. Win or lose, I'm not going to compromise on those areas. I'm going to stand on what I know to be right, what I've been taught to be right, and I believe this Republican base feels the same way, much of which feels the same way. And I think we want a leader that's willing to say, no to abortion. I look at as a leader and by whatever means necessary. I look at a leader as a father of this nation. Now, if my daughter came home, she's grown up now, and came home and said, Dad, I'm going to have abortion. You know what the answer is at 15 years old or whatever? It's no. It's no, we're not going to, it's not going to happen here, honey. I love you. We're going to figure this out. We're going to we're going to give that baby up for adoption, but we're not going to have also, you've made a mistake. We're not going to have this damage to your character and all that. I care about you. I care about you. I care about the young ladies of California. So no on that. No on same-sex marriage. Everything I'm looking at is through the Judeo-Christian lens. If you wanna go, I'm not a party pooper. I like to have fun. I'm not so goody two shoes. But no on these. If you're looking at me for a candidate, the answer is no on these issues. No on transgender transitioning men and girls' bathrooms. That's a big no. That's a law enforcement no. That's you better not know. And I'm gonna take a stand on that. And the same with law enforcement. Nobody wants to be the heavy. Nobody wants to be the heavy. But we're running for an office here. Again, that's a very weighty position. We don't want somebody that's wishy-washy. We have a serious problem with crime here in California. I heard or I read somebody refer to it as controlled anarchy. Do you ever get that impression when you're out on the streets of Los Angeles, where I'm generally from?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Controlled anarchy.
Yeah.
You're afraid to go out on the streets. We're afraid of our own children, and the buck has to stop here. I'm willing to step forward. I'm willing to step forward. This is. I'm willing to fight that fight.
Let's touch on that, Jim. How do we stop the controlled anarchy?
Leadership. If I'm exhibiting that right now, hear me clearly. The buck's going to stop there. Leadership. We're not going to be concerned about catering to special interests that not special interests, but interests that don't care about this country, that just want to tear down and supplant. We got to have a society here. We don't have one. I agree with Donald Trump. You know, we don't have a nation if we don't have law and order. We don't have a nation. And the same with the state of California. And California is the most potential of any state. I really believe that. But we're in one of the biggest messes of any state as well.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? We have such potential, and it's just a shame. It's just a shame we're not like Ronald Reagan. So you can tell I like Ronald Reagan. That's my guy. But we're not that shining city on a hill here. We should be. We're the biggest state. We got the fourth largest economy in the world. There's no problem we can't solve. So what is the problem? It's from a moral base. And we need somebody, really it is. That's where our problems stem from. And we need somebody that's saying, this is who I am. This is the direction I want to go. And this is the direction that I'm going to take California. So help me God.
I love it. So tell me about your personal experience in your real estate background and how that is going to equip you to run our state.
Oh, I've got a lot of great ideas. You can't, I'm always thinking about how to solve solutions and stuff. Again, everything from through that lens. But yes, I'm for creating prosperity zones in all of our challenged urban cores and stuff like that. What a prosperity zone is an opportunity zone on steroids. And I guess I could best liken it to, this isn't where I got the idea, but as I was working on the idea, and as I've been working on it over the years, you just kind of add to it in your mind. This would help. This would solve this situation. What comes to mind is Peter Ueberroth in the aftermath of the Los Angeles riots. Do you remember that? And it was the
Yes.
Rebuild LA campaign and everything. And that thing sadly failed because of, although they did a lot of good, but because of political infighting and stuff.
Mhm.
We're not going to go there, but we get into these cores, and I'm talking bringing business, almost like a cookie cutter version of 10, 20, 40, 50 businesses that are commit to moving in a zone for the purposes of bringing prosperity, bringing jobs. And McDonald's, Taco Bell. I remember Taco Bells were going up in 18 days in South Central Los Angeles. We can do this. We can do this, and we can do this by offering them tax incentives. We can create opportunity zones. I call them prosperity zones. And I've been working on this idea for the longest time. I love real estate, if you can't tell by looking at my video. And I'll tell you, you'll sit in those open houses and you'll solve the problems of the world. As far as our housing situation and everything.
Sure.
And so I've had a lot of time, given a lot of thought to this. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about bringing prosperity zones all over the state of California.
Okay, so let's do this for a second. So I have something in my mind now. This might not be in everybody's mind, but I think of like the 15-minute cities, and I think of the global agenda. Can you tell me what distinguishes the prosperity zones from the 15-minute cities?
Well, I can't speak to the 15-minute city. I have to tell you that's new to me. I've only heard a little bit about it. So just being upfront, I'm willing to look at it. And maybe there's some good stuff that you can pull from it. I'm not against looking at other people's ideas. But the prosperity zone is going to give jobs to everybody. That's what I like about that. People can from those local areas can come in and work in those local areas. You'll have your grocery store, you'll have your fast food, you'll have your 24-hour fitness, whoever's coming in, and you'll just plant these zones, these economic pre-prepared zones into these areas that these areas need anyway. In South Central LA, sadly, the businesses have left. These will be protected zones. They have left, and all you have is liquor stores.
Right.
So jobs are gone. Hope is gone. They're blighted and they're run down. I'm enthusiastic about that. I think we can do that.
So how do you do that in, let's say, South Central? Let's just talk about that land, because you've got a lot of drug users, a lot of crime.
Right.
I mean, you've got, there's a mindset there that is
I know that
from the government. So how do you turn that around?
There's nothing that cleans a neighborhood up like cleaning a neighborhood up. Do you know what I mean? Now, you get some successful businesses, some nice storefronts. It's amazing how it changes a neighborhood. You get some respectability. I mean, who wouldn't be discouraged with the blight and the graffiti? You know what I'm saying? So opportunity, and people like Maya Angelou says, I always like that. People rise. People rise when you give them the opportunity to rise.
How do we shift crime in those neighborhoods?
Well, there's no doubt that we got to be tough on crime. Opportunity from cradle to grave, we got to be involved in people's lives to invest in people's lives to give everybody a chance and go the right way. Opportunities for everybody. This is what I want to tend to. I want to devote my entire time, my idea, your idea, whatever works. I want to invest my time for the people of California and to build up the people of California. So these aren't issues, but we do have an awful situation with crime in this country. And frankly,
we certainly do.
Yeah, frankly, we got to get tough on it. We got to get tough on crime.
So let's land that plane. What is one action step that you're going to take as governor to get tough on crime?
Okay, well, just let me back up just a little bit before we land that plane. Accountability. You're not. Yeah, we need accountability. We don't have accountability. We have the revolving door. And listen, we're not doing anybody. If we really cared about the offender, we would hold them accountable. Society would hold them accountable. It's only within the framework of accountability that mercy even works. You've got to have accountability. I know that as a pastor. You've got to have accountability. And then, we want to rehabilitate people and stuff like that, but we've got to have accountability. We've got to enforce the laws. And some people are just frankly bad players. I hate to say that, bad actors. We've got to be tough. We've got to get tough when we've got to be tough. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to let law enforcement do what we have hired them to do. I don't want to tie their hands anymore. And I want to create a climate where, wouldn't this be wonderful, that you're so tough on crime that we can walk anywhere in downtown Los Angeles at any time of the day or night and not be scared for our lives.
Well, it's funny. I have to tell you something real quick. That picture it's a beautiful picture. Now, in Venezuela, when those that were in prison were released and then sent to the United States, it was the only way for them to be released. Do you know that locals that came back to visit Venezuela saw people walking around the streets on their cell phones, and they were like, what the heck is going on here? Because you would never walk around with your cell phone because you would be robbed in an instant. So can you imagine?
We can change it overnight. We can.
In LA, in certain parts that you actually could walk around the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so law enforcement. So you're going to support law enforcement. So what is one initiative that you're going to put in place to support law enforcement?
Oh, well, those are things I want to look at. Those are things I want to look at. I have the perspective, but let's see what's out there. But whatever it is full support.
Okay.
Full support for our law enforcement officers. I want to create deterrence for crime, such as programs for our youth, whatever's necessary. Because we don't want to be all about punishment, but the fact of the matter is we got some bad guys that need to go to jail, and some need to go to jail for a long time. Let's be honest. Let's do the tough work. Let's send those signals. Let's send those messages that we're done. We're done. We're going to have accountability now, and within that framework, our young people grow up. There's only one direction, huh?
Speaking of accountability, let's transition for a second. Speaking of accountability, you talk about the California Dodge audit. So in the Cal Dodge plan to audit government waste, how do you track the missing bullet train billions?
Oh, I would love to try. You get good. Here's the answer. Good men. I don't know that I can find it, but there's some guys that can. And as governor, I tell you, I learned something. I was a manager for Domino's Pizza years ago, and they said something that I've never forgotten. A good manager is not the best pizza maker, not necessarily the best pizza maker, but he's got the best pizza makers working for him. So yes, we'll get, Donald Trump got Elon Musk and they got their little Doge team. It's amazing how that was resisted, because don't we all want to stop waste and everything? What we didn't know, or what I didn't know, was that, and I'm sure a lot of the American people, is that the liberal forces were hidden in all these bureaucracies, and these were their power bases, and they resisted it tooth and nail. And but it's funny, the dirt that spilled out once the dagger was stuck in. We need that here in this state. We really do need that here in this state. You talk about which taxes to eliminate. Listen, there's so much money there. You were talking earlier about a $10 billion deficit. Really, in this economy, the fourth largest economy in the world, $10 billion really is nothing. We can find it. We can find that money for balancing the budget easily in a Cal Doge type program. And also I went on, as a contractor, I'm very, very aware of this. Mr. Collenberg was talking about paving streets. That's what I do, real estate and paving. And have done all my life, paving. And I as a contractor, I've seen there's in California especially, and a large part of it is due to illegal immigration stuff. There's a huge underground economy. Listen, I don't want to put you in jail. I want to give you licenses. I want to give you the ability, and I'm not talking about illegal activities or anything like that, but anybody that participates in the underground economy, and I want to get that $40 billion that you're not paying in taxes per year. We can do that overnight. We can legitimize a lot of guys that are in that parameter. Here's why a lot of guys are in those parameters. It's hard to do business in California. We've got to streamline. We've got to deregulate, and then plus also another source of money. Come on back, people that have left this state. Come on back. We'll give you incentives. I don't care if you don't have to pay taxes for a while, because we're going to have a tax base like second to none when we get all these new jobs that they're we put California back to work, and there's money to be found. There's money in those three areas. We will answer all of our problems. We're only $1.6 trillion in debt. That's not a lot of money. When you look at the federal government's debt, it's like 40 billion just ticking away like faster than you could blink your eyes. But California, our problems aren't that big. Fourth largest economy. Here's what you need. You need a can-do attitude. You need the enthusiasm. This is what we need. It's what we used to have. That's why I like this man here, Ronald Reagan. You're coming for. I borrowed that, by the way. It's morning in California. Remember, he said it was morning in America. But we need that enthusiasm. Right. We need that enthusiasm. Yes. People need to see that enthusiasm. It's big. It's going to go far. It's going to get us far.
Yes, we love. Absolutely. Attitude is everything. So now on your website, when we're talking about Cal Doge for you, your Cal Doge audit blueprint, which you've talked about, screams accountability. You've been saying accountability. How do you deploy it to claw back billions from boondoggles like the bullet train, black hole,
I want to find where
that redirect to prosperity zones for housing heroes?
Thank you. And there's all types of prosperity zones. I can envision all types of different. I'm open to suggestions. That's just one little cookie cutter version. But as concerning the train, where did that money go, and whose pocket did that go into? I want accountability on that. We need to send a strong message to bureaucrats and everything. Don't you steal from us. That's our money. That's our money. That's our children's money. Those days are over, and people need to go to jail for that kind of stuff. Where did that money go? That's sacred. The will of the people, the money of the people, the heart, the sweat and blood of the people. It's not just free. You can't just take that money and there does need to be accountability. But going back to, you said, how am I going to pull back? Going back to the pizza.
Yeah, how are you going to deploy it?
Good man. I mean, you know, I have ideas, but there are better men for that are suited for that. I'd be the manager that says, let's get them on board. Let's go after these forms of waste and fraud. Again, through that lens, we can solve these problems, and we'll get good men on board. And there's a lot of good men in California. There's a lot of good men in California.
Now that's waste. That's dealing with waste, fraud, and abuse. Now let's talk about homelessness, because it's all connected. So Jim, you talk about your plan to use eminent domain to seize casinos.
Might be unpopular, but
yeah, well, let's talk about that. So what I've heard is you use eminent domain to seize casinos for homeless treatment centers.
You know, I have this hits home with me because I've had a gambling problem in the past, and I've just watched them put these casino operators put these casinos right in the middle of an urban core and just gut the local economy. And I've actually sat at gambling tables. Just, you know, I'm not that bad, but I've actually sat at tables and watched inner city people giving their last dollars, you know, without money to go home. And so I'm not going to feel bad. Those are great big buildings. Those are great. Eminent domain reimburses them for their buildings. We're not stealing nothing from nobody, but I'll claim those buildings right in the urban core. They've created much of the problems that exist in our big cities. And now I wouldn't go after Indian casinos. That's a sovereign thing. I actually support that type of thing for rebuilding a very historically depressed constituency. But I would go after these casinos that do nothing but just take from the urban core and dismantle, and have added and have contributed heavily to homelessness. I'll take that by eminent domain. Those are going to become the new centers for rehabilitation, for job training.
Got it. So I'm assuming that you're going to gut those casinos, right?
Yeah, it's all coming out.
Yeah, you're not going to put them to work in a casino. I got that.
No, we're not leaving the blackjack tables in there.
Exactly. That's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, you know, you talk about these communities that are the poor communities, the hardworking, and sometimes not necessarily the hardworking, but the receiving from the government communities. And that's also where you'll find Planned Parenthood set up, right? So it's just the degradation of society. Yes. So having that positive.
Let me add, right? Can I add and jump in there real quick before you move on?
Yeah.
Where you're going to find title loans and money payday advances, because they're preying upon the poor. Yes. That's why I want to create an opportunity zone. You've got liquor stores, payday advances, title loans, casinos. It's just, you know, I mean, some neighborhoods we need to step in and help out. And I love the idea of prosperity zones. The thing that doesn't make that, why, you know, a lot of people come forward, and the Trump administration came forward with Tim Scott. I applaud them for their efforts. But the thing that why opportunity zones don't really work so much is because you're only a business here, a business there, taking part of tax incentives or something. I want to come in and just replace an entire area, just like Rebuild LA did. I want to rebuild an entire section of, you know, a 4-block, a 10-block area.
And Jim, you have an experience of turning distressed properties into thriving hubs.
Yeah, we do.
You've done that before.
Yes, I have.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And how can you take the, like if you were to audit the waste, seize assets for homeless havens, and unleash water smart growth that makes California golden again, is this something like these 3 key things I just brought up? Is this something that you have an actual plan, or are you looking at bringing in the experts in those areas and collaborating?
Well, I'm sharing with you my plans. I'd like to listen to Mr. Colin Berg. He said sometimes it's just as simple as good management.
Right.
As far as the water, you know, what's the plan? Turn the spigot on, Gavin Newsom, and then the Pacific Palisades would have had enough water or more water to fight those fires. That's not much of a plan. That is, again, the common sense approach. Good management. And I agree with him when he said that. Good management. So much of that we may look in as far as water goes. I've always thought salinization plants and stuff was a great idea. I have to tell you, I haven't looked at it deeply enough to see if it's if it's enough to answer all the needs. The term escapes me, but it can answer some. It can answer some fresh, clean water in certain areas that are challenged. Yes.
So, Jim, there's a lot of very detailed areas that require much attention in the state of California. You have a little over actually June are the primaries, right? So you have less than a year, a window of time right now to get all your ducks in a row. What is your strategy in the next 7 months to get your ducks in a row, to have your hand, to get your mind wrapped about?
You're talking to an entrepreneur, a lifetime entrepreneur, and I know what it's like to start businesses, and I know what it takes to start a business, and I know what it takes to start a successful business. And it's effort. It's a lot of effort. We're kind of going to learn as we go. I haven't done this before in this capacity. We're going to learn as we go. It's amazing to me the people that are coming to me, though. I have to tell you, a lot of people are coming to me, and I have somebody that says, I know some of the power players and everything. I want you to come and I want you to meet them. And I'm like, thank you. And thank you, Jesus, because that's what we need. But I'm not afraid of hard work. Like I said, I'm in the asphalt business. There's no harder work on the planet than the asphalt, unless you're like putting out fires in Kuwait, the big, something like that.
Yeah, it's
hard work.
Business. Yeah,
hot work.
So
hot work.
I'm hearing that a lot today. I'm hearing that, like, that seems to be the theme for those that are running is, one, you guys are willing to stand in the gap. You guys are willing to put in the hard work. So, Jim, let me ask you this. If you find that there is someone that is running against you for governor, that if you were to see them as somebody that might be more equipped, are you willing to get behind them? Are you willing to take on a key role in your area of expertise to get behind them?
The short answer is yes. However, that's not how I've conducted my life. That's not how I build a business. Number one, you have to believe that God himself is with you. And therefore you have a purpose. If God's with you, if God's given you the unction, then he's saying, you're the man for the job and I got your back. And so yes, of course I would. But at this point, I'm saying, let the voters of California see about me for a minute. Let's see what they think about me. Let them see my enthusiasm. Let them see my heart. Let them see my drive. Let them see my purpose. Let them see my focus. Let them see my ambition. And then if we get to the point where a decision is made, and of course we do. Of course we lift up. We hold up. We support. We rally, right? But at this point, my answer is no. Yes, and yes, if it comes to that. Right now, I just have to believe God's put me where he's put me. Right.
Totally got that. Now let's traverse for a second, because I hear you. You are taking on the call of governor, because that you believe is it's a God calling for you. So you're all in. I really do. And I would believe that God would make that way clear for you as you move forward. So let's traverse for a second. We're going to touch on border security real quick, education, human trafficking, and election integrity. Yeah. So let's hit border security and sanctuary states. Would you end sanctuary policies and deploy the National Guard?
Absolutely. No question. As a matter of fact, I mean, like I said in my some of the stuff I sent you, please come. We're in a mess. let's get out here. Let's get this all straightened out. Again, controlled anarchy. And one of the reasons is we've got a lot of people on these streets that shouldn't be here that are quite dangerous. I understand the question of having immigrants, and I'll quote the Statue of Liberty, whoever said that, the ones that want to come yearning to breathe free. I understand that. We're all immigrants, from our grandparents or something. My grandfather, and Athens is a Greek name. He came over to Ellis Island. The name was shortened from Athanasopolis to Athens at Ellis Island. And so I understand immigration. I understand wanting to be a part of this great experiment, but I don't understand people coming in and kidnapping our children. It's unthinkable that we've arrived here. I don't understand people wanting to come in and rape, that view this opportunity as an opportunity to perform wickedness. They got to go. There's no sanctuary city here for you, and yes. even if the city council votes it a sanctuary city, I'm not playing along. Okay. I would have an overarching authority such as the National Guard, the regional.
Got it. Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're not standing for that. We're not standing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk education. How do you fix schools and repeal bills like AB 495 to protect the child and the parental rights?
Again, how did we get here? How did we get here? Do you remember growing up and being in school and none of these? I look back at, I was reading some of the statistics in the 1950s. The worst problems that the kids had in school was gum chewing. And I thought, wow. I mean, those are better days. This country has seen better days. And how did we get here? And this is about taking back. My gosh, the solutions, problems are myriad, but so are the solutions. Here's what I'm big on. I'm big on parental involvement. I mean, we have compromised the integrity of the nuclear family here in America, and therefore we've lost everything. If you lose the nuclear family, if you let families break down, then, and in this case, the influence and authority of the family, then anything goes in our schools. So I want people involved from grassroots. I also want, this is different than what I'll do legally, but I also want to encourage faith-based initiatives. I want to see a revival here in America. This is me personally. I will govern within the confines of government, but I will influence from the bully pulpit, renewal of our values. I want to see revival. Listen, when that happens, everything changes. This isn't even a conversation anymore. When we have revival and good people and hearts that are changed. And that's why I want to be present. As a minister, that's what I want to bring. I want to be present there. I want to use the bully pulpit. I've used the pulpit before, and I've seen the power of its influence. And I do believe that the bully pulpit is just as influential in this, irrespective of what we do in government. It's just as influential, if not more so, in the country as we have it. So yes.
Good. Now let's continue to talk about the children. Human trafficking.
It's, again,
it is it's off the hook in the state of California.
Yeah.
It's underground and it's all throughout the state, whether it be the trains, the bus ports.
I'm fine with
businesses. How do we stop it? How do we nip it in the bud? How do we rescue these children?
Yeah. Well, number one, we got to keep an eye, on our kids, and we got to get the bad actors out. But I'm all for removing search and seizure laws that are in place that keep us from going in and just going into these places and looking for people that have been taken off the streets and it's just a more concentrated effort that's got to stop. I'm for Again, I like the grassroots initiatives. I'm for neighborhood watch programs. I'm for. Do you remember when we could run around in the neighborhoods and we were accountable to somebody's parent over here?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yes. We talked about this a lot with the Take Our Border Back movement across the country, that we have forgotten how to protect our communities and our neighbors. I mean, people are driving up and their garage doors are closing. There's kids aren't playing in the street. Very rarely do you find that. Now, I do have a street where we've always had kids playing, which is amazing.
Yes.
So,
those were the days. Those were the days, right?
Exactly. What about the NGOs? So we saw what Gavin Newsom did. We saw how he funneled the money to the illegal immigrants through the NGOs, or he basically fulfilled on the Biden administration's plan, right, to infiltrate our country in national breach of security. And he used the NGOs to get them the money to do it. So what's your plan for the NGOs?
Okay, so when you're, and this is the first part of the interview where I have to ask you what you're referring to as the NGOs.
Non-government organizations, kind of like Catholic charities, Jewish community centers. A lot of these organizations were found telling illegal immigrants, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to declare asylum. This is what you I
wonder, as we've seen all that transpire and unfold, you wonder if they just want to dismantle this society. You wonder if that's their purpose, to create a chaos that dismantles this ideology, our ideology that they hate so much. And who was at the helm? Maybe it wasn't Joe Biden, because they were using the auto pen and everything. Who's at the helm when we let 25 million illegal aliens come into this country unvetted? Who was at the helm? However they've gotten here, however, wherever monies were funneled through, whatever places are called sanctuary cities, whatever monies, hotels were paid for and people were put up.
That's right here in San Diego.
All of that's got to stop. I was unfamiliar with the term NGO. I do come from the private sector. Forgive me.
Yeah.
These things are important to me, but I was
Yes. And I'll tell you what, if you are a man that loves God, you're a pastor, you're an entrepreneur, the children is on the heart of the Father. And if we continue to allow these things, there are natural consequences of the breakdown of our society. We've lost connection with the head. So how will you get us back connected to the source?
That again, like I started out saying, everything I do is going to be through that lens, that Judeo-Christian ethos. So every form of legislation, everything I sign, I mentioned executive orders like crazy, whatever we need. I love what Donald Trump is. I love what he's doing, because I love that, and I intend to do it. You give me the power, we'll sit down and we'll just take care of things like that. We can bypass a gridlocked legislature. You all can do what y'all can do over there, but we're gonna have a groundswell of good people taking their country back.
Beautiful. Now let's transition to election integrity. How do you win? How do you win in a rigged system?
Well, what was it that Donald Trump said that was too big to be illegitimate? What was he? It rhymed.
He
whatever.
Said, too big to rig. Too big to rig.
Too big to rig. I love that. Come on, guys, get out there. Let's get out there. Everybody's got to get out there. Let's do our best at the monitoring things, representing things, overseeing things. Get as involved as we can, but too big to rig. That's what we want to do. Let's get out there in numbers.
Well, Jim, let me share something with you. I had a meeting with the EIPCA California the other day, an amazing group. And, one of the things that Linda Payne was sharing with me was, Kim, we're so surprised. We have communities, like some communities in San Diego, where we've got a lot of volunteers who are saying, hey, I want to sign up for this. I want to sign up for this. When it comes to election integrity, when it comes to canvassing our counties, making sure that dead people aren't voting, making sure that people aren't voting from other states, right? Making sure that we don't have illegals on the ballot. And she was shocked because here's what she saw. She saw that many of the conservatives that support Trump, we Republicans, were kind of fat, dumb, and happy, kind of like, hey, we won. We're good to go. We're good to go. We don't need to volunteer. I'm kind of done. I already fought the good fight.
Yeah.
I want to remind people, and I'm sure, Jim, you remember when President Trump said, I'm standing in the way of them getting to you. Yeah. And he created the space for we, the people, to step into. It's now time for we, the people, to stand in the gap. Now more than ever, we need to get involved. We need to volunteer. And there's so many different ways that we can do that.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
Well, there's a difference between what a candidate can do and what a governor can do. But as you're speaking, I just love the idea of the bullhorn, of the bully pulpit. And as you're speaking, it just comes to me because the wheels are always turning. On behalf of the people, the American people, the people of California, I just love that. But I'm thinking the candidate's position. Look at me. I'm talking to how many thousands of people right now. This is a bully pulpit right now. That just came to me. That just hit me. So when I get off of here, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to say, how can I influence this election? How can I bring attention to that issue? Yes, as a candidate, you can, you can encourage and all that. A governor, you can legislate or you can use the executive order. So it's different, but I would like to demonstrate, and I think I'm going to go back to the drawing board on a lot of things.
I love that. I love that. And one of the things you might just want to consider, if it's okay if I offer this, on April 25th, we're going to do our second round of the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown, right? We'll kind of have a smaller group because we will have more clarity by then. I want to
be there. I hope to be there.
Be amazing. One of the things we're going to implement is you show up with ID. You're handed a ballot.
Yes.
You have the opportunity to vote. It is paper ballot, hand counted, cameras everywhere. We're going to see that vote cast right there on that stage, counted before you leave in that house of 1,000. You're going to see how easy it is to go back to paper ballot as the most effective way. And that's what we've heard President Trump say all along. So that's the direction that we are moving towards, because we know if we continue to do it the way we're doing it, we're going to get the same results. Yes, we need to show up, too big to rig, but the reality is, as long as the machines are in place, they can be manipulated. So we have the ability to truly take our power back when it comes to election. So
I want to know more about that. I want to know more about that, and I want to participate. So
that's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about those executive orders. I want you to give me the moment you're in office as governor. What is the one executive order that you're like, done?
The problems are so myriad. Oh my gosh.
Choose one.
Oh my gosh.
Choose one.
Do I have a pet project that I want to say? I have this overarching philosophy. I think I've tried to demonstrate that here today. You know what? Ask me that on November 8th. Can you do that?
All right, let me reframe it. Okay. Let me reframe it.
There's a lot.
If it were, imagine you've got the domino set. And the dominoes, for all the changes to be shifted, the dominoes are set, right? When you hit one, the rest are going to go and line up.
Well, then you put it that way, we got to go to our schools. We got to go to our schools first. We have to stop the indoctrination. We have to, the buck stops here. You're here, you guys are here to teach the kids. And if you've got this ideology that you're trying to put over on the kids, then we want people that are coming in and teach you reading, writing, and arithmetic. And it doesn't matter to me if we have the 10 Commandments on the wall or prayer in schools. But the simple fact of the matter is, I don't want the principles that this country was founded upon under attack. We are undermining the very basis of this society, and that's what they're doing in schools. I interviewed. I used to. Oh, let me tell you. I used to have a ministry called School Prayer Ministries, and we were on. It was a nationwide ministry overnight because we went in through the Bible clubs that the kids are allowed to have on campus. And we went in through the Bible clubs, and we did a newsletter, and it was all about Christ-centered values. And we interviewed standout kids and all that stuff. And we got to go in and make a difference in schools. And it was, you know what? I got to speak in schools. I remember going to Gardena High out here, and the kids and their enthusiasm, they came out, and that was almost like a guarded, like a prison going in there is what I thought. But they just had this enclave of these outstanding Christian kids. And so there are ways we can do these things. There are ways that faith-based initiatives gets in. That was a back door. And we went nationwide overnight because all we did was mail out newsletters to all these kids' Bible clubs. We're nationwide, and did that for some time. But yeah, so I'm speaking from experience. That's where I would target. Now that you mention it, because that is the domino effect. That's what, and our children. That's our future. Children. That's our future. Yeah.
The children are our future.
That would be my number one.
I love it. Thank you for going with me there. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. Well, when you started saying the dominoes, I thought, well, that can only happen
sometimes we just need that visual, right? It makes all the difference. All right. So let's talk about the visual of the day I met you. The day I met you was at the California GOP. This tall, strapping, strong man. You're a tall guy. You and David Zipper are like face to face, right? Yeah. And when I met you, I saw that you had this yellow and blue.
Oh, you got to bring that up.
Yes, okay. You got to bring that up.
Yellow and blue. It was support.
I said, Jim, what is the tie? And what did you tell me?
And we did. We had that conversation. And just briefly, it's my way of saying, I would, with respect and with humility, I want to raise the conversation that we need to support Ukraine. They're being decimated. This is genocide. What's happening? And we need to at least support them militarily. We need to at least let them equip them to be able to defend themselves. I'm not even talking about committing American lives. I'm not, but they're willing to fight. What theater of war where, that you go to defend somebody, do you have these people there, and they're the fiercest fighters. I mean, they're standing down this entire Russian army, this little country of Ukraine. You gotta give them credit. We historically have supported freedom-loving democratic peoples. How do we get away from that? I just want to say with humility, because I do respect Donald Trump. I do support Donald Trump. And as I told you that day, I voted for Donald Trump. So I'm not coming from a place of confrontation, but that's my heart, that we support these people that are facing down a genocidal maniac. And I just saw on the news, it gets worse every day, talking about child kidnapping and stuff. The Russian soldiers are literally kidnapping the children for reintroduction into Russian society. It's sinister. And I'm not talking about necessarily incursions into Russia. We're talking about enabling these people to defend themselves. And so that was what the tie was about. That's an issue I care about.
Yeah, I got that. Well, it just stood out to me. I was like, wait, is that the Ukraine flag?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if we took a look at, I know this is kind of like off, it's on the topic, but I'm just curious. When we look at the Biden administration and all the funding that went to Ukraine, have you followed where
you're gonna do this to me?
Yeah. It's important. It's important.
Forget Biden. Forget Biden.
We got to help one another,
I think it was money well spent. $350 billion to stand up to a geopolitical foe. We've compromised their army has been compromised greatly. They're so overextended in Ukraine that they one of the benefits of that they pulled out of the Middle East altogether, and Syria fell, kind of talking about a domino effect. So I think it was a money well spent. I don't want my money back that went over there. I don't want to recover it from your resources and everything. This is what we do. We're the mighty Americans. We're the moral Americans. We defend peoples that can't defend themselves. We defend the defenseless. We stand up, and we have been, every one of our presidents up till now has been a Cold War warrior. I was just looking at President Kennedy. He was a Democrat, but Democrats and Republicans alike in the Cuban Missile Crisis. And we've stood. Do you remember are you as years old as me? Do you remember getting under the
I remember
desk?
the Cuban Missile Crisis. I'm 55, so yeah, I'm right there.
You remember getting under the desks in school?
I remember
practicing like a fire drill, but instead we got under the desk.
But yes, lots of times.
We've been at odds with these people for a long time, and if I might humbly say, our resistance to them is what's caused the fall of the former Soviet Union, Ronald Reagan and the Star Wars Initiative. And do you remember standing out there and saying, Mr. Gorbachev, he was a lifelong, even as a Screen Actors Guild president, an anti-communist. He brought the whole vibe. Again, here we are, for someone for such a time as this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He was that man for that hour. He was handpicked. He said after he got shot, he goes, I know God kept me alive for a reason. He was handpicked for that hour. He was the guy with the lifelong impetus, the lifelong unction that stood up there and said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And listen, we don't cower away from our enemies. This Vladimir Putin, I just think the best thing is to support the people of Ukraine with the means to defend themselves. I love our president. I would love to sit down with him for a few minutes on this issue, though.
Got that, Jim. Got that. Thank you for going there down this road with me.
It's a national issue. This is a statewide race.
Yes, but here's the thing. It's important for us to have the bigger conversation.
I think so.
Because it impacts the state. It impacts our belief. Our belief system impacts everything we do. Yes. So we touched on compromise. A couple of times you mentioned compromise. So let me ask you this. California's gridlock with a Democratic supermajority demands real talk on compromise. Yes. What principles are you willing to bend on to build coalitions and get results?
I tell you, my skill, and I'm a little nervous here tonight, but my gift is sales.
You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you. My gift is sales. I'm a natural born salesman. My dad was an award-winning salesman. It runs in the family, and I love working with people. And I love finding common ground. And then as a minister, you find that common ground. What are the areas? Because the church is a very political place too. What are the areas we agree on? Let's come together on those. Let's not highlight one doctrinal difference. As long as the fundamentals are in place, we can fellowship on those. We can come together on those. Do we believe that salvation is by Jesus Christ? Okay, well then let's sit down and break bread together. Well, it's the same thing in politics. What do we have in common? Do we love this country? Do we want to see the best for this country? Can we set aside ideological differences, that might influence, such as I just always see both sides not willing to compromise on things that they even agree on because it's strategic.
Mhm.
You can't go against the team and everything. I would really like to meet everybody in our
In the
legislature.
middle. And
And I really want to have a Tip O'Neill, Ronald Reagan type relationship. I really do. I'll endeavor to have that. I want to be friends. We're all in this together.
I got it. United, we're all in this together. Now,
Yes.
what red lines are you unwilling to cross, no matter the cost, to protect our families, farms, freedoms?
Yeah. Well, yeah, those you just said them. We're going to be tough on crime. We're going to be. I'm unwilling to back off on being influential in to being a catalyst towards a return to those American values. And we know, you and I know where those come from. They're the roots as in the Judeo-Christian ethic, but a return to that fundamental influence and and love is a powerful force.
Mhm.
I think when they see the hatefulness, I think when the other side sees the hatefulness or our side sees the hatefulness, that makes us pull away. You gotta say, this is because we love the people of California. We're going to make these decisions because we love the children of California. We're going to make these decisions because we love this ethos, this ethic. We love the future of California. Everything's got to be based in love, and you gotta come from that, and I am coming from that,
Mhm.
from that perspective. Wouldn't it be just great if my governorship would just be a great love affair with the people of California? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That
And
would.
then just embrace everything you say and do, and you're for them and they're for you. I want to bring that type of energy. I don't want to bring a mean spirit. We've got some tough things to do, but I want to be a father to the people of California.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Last question of the day. What is one bold move that you get to make California great again?
Oh gosh, those are overarching questions. One bold move that I get to make.
One bold move to make California great again.
I don't know how to answer that question except what's in my heart. And you saw it in my video. Enthusiasm.
Mm,
I shared that video
yes.
and you liked it, and thank you very much for that. But I shared it with a friend.
Yeah.
And she said 2 words to me.
What does he say?
Go, Jim. Go, Jim. That touched me deeply.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
with you. You have
Yes.
excited us.
Yes.
You have energized us. I want to bring that enthusiasm. Bring the enthusiasm so people are excited about the future.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Jim, I got that. So with that enthusiasm, what's the action? What is the taking that enthusiasm? What is it that you're going to?
You're going to get at something.
Yeah, I know, because I'm just thinking. There's a couple
Yeah.
thoughts I have, and I want to finish strong. And one of the things I think about is
Love that
the
phrase.
people, because this is about giving power back to we the people.
Mhm.
So, what is your call to action for the people?
Well, look at my T-shirt. This is from Joe Wyckoff. Make California
You should just open that up when I ask
great.
you
Like
a
Superman,
question.
right?
California
A little
great.
fatter than Superman. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get started. Come on. Yeah, let's make California livable
I
again.
love
Let's make
it. I love
California
it.
safe again. Let's make California prosperous again.
Come on.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Jim. That's a blueprint. That sounds like common
Thank
sense.
you. Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much for being with us today.
I've enjoyed
And
it.
people can
I
follow
think so highly
you,
of you,
Jim.
by the way. Thank you for doing this.
Aw.
Really
And
supplying this format. Thank you. God bless you.
I received that. And thank you. It's an honor. I have to tell you, I have to confess, I feel like I'm campaigning for all of you.
Yeah.
But you know
You're
what? But
great at
here's
that.
the thing.
You have that gift as well.
This is my state. This is my
Mhm.
home.
Yes.
In my
Yes.
platform, I want to be useful for God, right?
Absolutely.
And truly
This is-
take our California back.
Yeah.
So now, where can people reach you, Jim?
Okay,
Jim
Jim
Athens?
Athens for California governor. The website's kind of still under construction, but you can get a lot from it.
Beautiful.
And we've done a lot of work on it. We're still working on it. Jim Athens for California governor.
.com.
Is it .com? Yes.
.com.
And it's I believe it's for CA governor, California.
Jim
governor.
Athens for cagovernor.com. That's Jim Athens for cagovernor.com.
CAgovernor.com. And what we're going to do,
Athens.
I'm excited about doing this.
Yes.
We're going to have a podcast, and we were setting it up today. We're on the phone with GoDaddy, and I have some people helping me. And I just want to release a lot of content where we're talking about these issues, and we're demonstrating our heart and our fervent spirit to the people of California. But I want to talk about issues. I have people I want to talk about. You know, I grew up lifting weights, and I hear Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. He was a boyhood hero of mine. I want to interview him on Prop 50. I want to go over there and we'll do a little podcast show with him.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Send him this. Maybe he'll like me. And we'll just talk to the players. We'll talk to the people that make a difference on both sides. So that's going to be on there.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Jim, I hear your heart. I hear your heart today to fight like Charlie and love like Charlie.
Yeah, thank you.
I hear underneath all of it that's your heart. And that's what I'm loving about all of these amazing gubernatorial candidates.
Yes.
Is there's that heart to love God, to love people, to stand in the gap. Y'all might not know everything about everything, and that's okay, because there's no way one person can take this state back. It is we the people. Yeah. And all of us working together on that local level, like General Flynn says, local action equals national impact. And every single one of us together can take our California back. Jim Athens, God bless you. Thank you for being with me today. And I'll see you again soon.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Me as well. Jim Athens, guys, wowza kabowza. Jim Athens for governor. Jim Athens for cagovernor.com. You guys, what a show tonight. Wow. You know, I'll tell you what, you got to create a space where these candidates can truly step in and answer questions. And sometimes they're not easy questions, but sometimes we really want to get to know them and their heart. You know, the Bible says the heart is deep waters. A wise man draws out the heart. You know, my desire is always to draw out that heart because we make decisions based upon that belief system. So I have to tell you, we've got one more candidate, not today, but in October. And you know what? Let me take a look here because you guys are with me. On the 23rd of October, we've got additional candidates running for governor. And you'll learn more about them as we go. But remember, this show is really just the beginning. We are all in the fight to take our California back, right? And you can join us in taking California back, in fighting like Charlie at our Take Our California Back Governor Showdown. It's our California Governor Showdown. Guys, this is historical. I'm just going to tell you, there are billionaires right now in the state of California that are saying this is a watershed moment. This event is a watershed moment. It's going to transform before we even get there. Go get your tickets. Now is the time. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. Let me pull that up. That way you have it before you. Don't go anywhere. We're going to finish this show strong and you want to see what's coming next. But takeourcaliforniaback.com. Go get your tickets. We have an extraordinary VIP black tie candidate moderator meet and greet. People are saying it's black tie. What do I wear? Just dress up nice. Some of you want to wear tuxes. Some of you want to get a little Hollywood style, get Hollywood style. Show up. Your voice deserves to be heard. You're going to have the opportunity to cast your vote. 100%. Listen, you have questions that are sitting here kind of going, oh, Kim, I wish you asked this. Well, you have your opportunity. When you purchase your ticket, you're going to be sent a thank you. And that thank you has a Google Doc attached. You're going to go there and you're going to fill out your questions. Your voice deserves to be heard. And if you are purchasing the VIP black tie meet and greet, then tell you what, you're going to be in a raffle where you get to actually participate. If you're chosen, you get to participate in asking any candidate a question right there. One person will be chosen. Go get your tickets. What's that question? What do you want to ask them? What's been sitting there? Your voice deserves to be heard. Join us. We've got independent journalist Lara Logan. She is extraordinary. To have her joining us on this, guys, she is a wealth of knowledge. She peels back the layers. She knows the great state of California. Let me tell you, we've got Dr. Douglas G. Frank. He is our election integrity expert. Election integrity in 46 states as one of our moderators. We have been collaborating behind the scenes, talking about this, guys, getting things organized so that this is an extraordinary event. We've got leaders coming in from across the state of California. So go get your tickets now before they're gone. Nobody left behind. We want to make sure you have a seat at the table. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. That's take our, because it is ours, ourcaliforniaback.com. All right. Now, the flyer, I'm just going to pull up just to give you one more view of the event, because you're wondering who is on this. Now, the people that you see on this, these gubernatorial candidates are just I mean, guys, these people are the people that are in the trenches. They are the ones that are willing to stand in the gap and fight like Charlie. Now, our additional candidates that we've been interviewing, we may have room at the table, but right now we're working all those details out. So pay close attention. The gubernatorial candidates will be announced. And these guys you're looking at, 99.9 of them said, I'm in. They're so excited. The candidates have got their own tables. We've got media already setting up. Salem Radio will be there. We've got other media. We've got podcasters that will be live streaming this. But there's nothing like being together. You want to join us. Be with us in San Marcos at Awaken Church. Get your hotel. We are going to have an extraordinary time together. It is November 8th, a Saturday. You want to be there, and it will be the year mark to Election Day. So go get your tickets at takeourcaliforniaback.com. We are here to take our California back, and I am so excited. All right, now, as we close off round 6 of the Take Your California Back California Governor Face-Off, Patriots, I want to remind you that we are at war. And this war that we're in right now, it is 5th generation warfare. And we do have the tools. And now we're making connections. We're understanding that we have a role in this war, that we have the ability to take our power back on a local level, that we are here for such a time as this to stand in the gap. And if you're one of those people that has been sitting off the fence or sitting on the fence, get off. That certainly hurts. You feel a whole lot better being in community and getting involved. Pick up your cross, fight like Charlie. Today, we've heard from David Kallenberg and his Heartland Revival, and Jim Athens, his Prosperity Zones, Cal Doge Accountability. These Titans are equipped in very unique areas and have the ability to arm us to bulldoze Newsom's nightmare. Homelessness slashed, crime crushed, kids shielded, AB 495 axed, elections secured, borders locked, prosperity ignited. That's the California we're charging for. Each one of the candidates we've brought to the table has a specific skill. We really need every single one of them, but we can only choose one. And that choice is going to be up to you. So how do we navigate through this storm with all the things that are being thrown at us from every side? Well, we do it with the tools in place so that we are clear-minded to make a wise choice. One of those tools is a tool like General Flynn and Boone Cutler's 5th generation warfare. Wow. That just really hit me just mentioning that. I've got some news to share with you guys today that isn't the news that I like to share, but it's important news. The reason why you want to tap into a book like 5th Generation Warfare, written by General Flynn and Boone Cutler, is because it provides you with the tools that you need for this kind of battle. This is not a kinetic war we're in. It is a spiritual war. It is a psychological war. And you want to know how to fight that war. I've got the link below to tap in. Just go get what you need. Go get those books. Read them. Have parties with your family, your community. Bring them together. Start reading the books so that we are educated in a time like this, and we have the right weapons in place to truly take our California back. Now, the news that I was going to share with you tonight is there's somebody that we love so much that is a total warrior. I've had him on my show a few times. I had the privilege of interviewing him a few weeks ago at a conference in Oxnard with America's Future. And the conference was about human trafficking. You see, Boone Cutler was the warrior, worked closely with General Flynn, who was fighting for our children, and who has been telling us, if you follow any of his social media, Boone has been saying over and over, don't get caught in the psychological warfare. Know the fight. Handle your emotions. Take your thoughts captive. That's what we get to do. If we're going to join the fight and fight like Charlie and fight like Boone, then we need to know that this is a spiritual war. And we also need to know it's a psychological war. And we need to have every tool in place, God's word. And go get your book, 5th Generation Warfare. When I sat down with Boone a couple weeks ago, he was my last interview of a very full day. We were in a little tiny room that was so hot. And I was so excited to get a couple minutes with Boone. And when I got those couple minutes with Boone, Boone's message was a powerful message. And you need to go listen to that message. But Boone also had a call to action. And this call to action was for you. The call to action was for me. The call to action was for every single one of us to get into action. And I want to share with you that video with Boone Cutler. Now, I'm really hoping I can actually find the video with Boone Cutler right now. Here it is. Okay. I'm going to play just one little segment. This was my final interview with Boone. Boone was laid to rest today. It was a shock when I got the call, and it was a shock when many people got the call. I mean, we've gone from Charlie to Boone. Now, Boone had a heart attack. Guys, we have a moment of opportunity right now. Love the people around you. Take care of your families. Heed the warning and the advice from those that have been fighting for you behind the scenes. Listen to the message from Boone Cutler. Your team wants you to go.
I better get
But
going.
here's what we're going to do. We're going to let you go for sure.
Okay.
Boone, I want to say thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
being in the fight. Thank you for encouraging all of us to take a stand and join the fight.
Absolutely.
And your last final words for the action to take your power back community.
My last final words are, be aware of tech addiction. It's a real thing. And that tech addiction is feeding different systems that are causing you to be influenced. The worst thing you can do to your children is give them an iPad when they're 3 years old so you can be on your tech. That's like a crackhead giving their kid crack so they can do more crack. Don't give your kid crack and get off the crack. AI is the new crack. Tech addiction is the new crack. Get away from it. Spend time in nature with your family, with people you love, and with people that love you, and then you're going to be okay.
Boone Cutler at the Take Your Power Back Show. We'll see you guys on the other side. That's a wrap for Get in the Fight. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you at the next one. The next one is?
Well, I know where I'm going to be. The next year will be the next ones for this, but we look for some interesting things coming from America's Future. It's going to get more people involved like they never have before.
AmericasFuture.net. We'll keep you posted. God bless. See you on the other side. That is our Boone Cutler, you guys. Amazing. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Love the people around you. Boone, we love you. We, the people, are done waiting. We're done sitting on the fence. We're done sitting on the sidelines. We're done being victims. We are ready to take our power back and get in the fight. Fight like Charlie. Fight like Boone. Take our California back. Take our country, our America back. And we can fight by shaking things up with our November 8th, 2026 historic Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown at Awaken Church in San Marcos. We're giving power back to we the people. Go get those early bird tickets before the prices go up. Go grab them now. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. That's TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. You know, opportunity passes. You've heard that said, right? Opportunity passes. Well, we have the opportunity to get in the fight. And I don't know about you. I got 4 kids. I got 2 grandkids. I got one that I'm about to pack up to go and see right now. I haven't even met him yet. He's just born. Oliver. Olive means peace. Go be the fight. Go be the love. Go be the peace. That's how you get in the fight. We together are united. We together are unstoppable. We together are unleashing our God-given power. Go tag a fighter today. Make sure they watch today's show. Flood your social media. Hashtag Take Your Power Back. Hashtag Take Our California Back. Hashtag California Awakens. Hashtag 2 Chronicles 7:14. Follow me on X at Real Kim Yater. Follow me on Facebook, Kimberly Yater, Take Your Power Back Show. You can also follow me on Instagram at Take Your Power Back Show. Now, unfortunately, tonight we didn't go live stream on there. We normally do. Follow me on Rumble as well at Take Your Power Back Show. And you can go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com to donate, to support, to keep freedom alive. It's up to you. You get to say, hey, I get to keep freedom alive. Yes, you do. And you get to fight like Charlie. Now, and you get to also fight like Boone. Bold, fierce, and fearless. You hear that, right? Fight like Charlie. Fight like Boone. Bold, fierce, fearless. In Colossians 3:23-24, it says, this is God's word. Whatever you do, whatever work you do it with all of your heart. Do it for the Lord, not for men. Remember that you will get a reward from the Lord. He will give you what you should receive. You are working for the Lord Jesus Christ. Whatever you do, do it with all of your heart as if working for the Lord, not for man. That's the key. Go today. Get in the fight. Now, I pray that God just blesses you, that God blesses California, and may God bless the United States of America. Let's close out today's show with a song called Charlie, to be reminded to get in the fight. This is Kim Yater with the Take Your Power Back show, signing out. And before I sign you out, I'm going to pull up that video, because this video is pretty awesome. It's pretty special. And it's one of those videos, one of those songs you'll probably hear over and over. Charlie.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day. Killed in cold blood for having a discussion, and liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the left and all the wokery. We can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that defending all our freedom is why you aren't coming home. I hope heaven has a window you can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us, but good men die for the things that they say. And I can't just be quiet, so I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back. Thank you for joining us for the
Thank you.